I'm a plant dualist. I like plants. I have a bit of a background in horticulture. I mean, come on. I like plants. So I was excited when the plant deck from Vrains was announced. After playtesting it, it's really lackluster in my opinion.
For now.
For now. Hey everyone, thank you for tuning in to Team Forbidden's YouTube page again. It's Andrew the Collector here. And like I said in the intro, I am here to bring the Sunavalon, or Sunvine, whichever you prefer to call it, deck to you. We got the most of its support in the Ghost from the Past. It is set to have some more support coming out in the future, but will that help out the deck? Honestly, I don't know yet. I gotta play test it when it comes out, but for now, this is the best that we got. Do keep in mind that this deck is not competitive at all, at least from what I'm able to make out of it so far. It's rogue, but it's not terrible. It's playable, it has its plays, but it's a glass cannon almost. It has a lot of weak points, it's a Nibiru target, but it's still fun to play. So without further ado, let's just get right into it. So we're going to start out with our Sunseed Loki. This is the deck's probably biggest weakness, is that it's relying on a normal monster. Whether that has been good or bad in the past, like with Neos or with Gen X being the worst, is up for debate. But in my mind, I don't think that any deck, if it wants to make it big, should rely on one monster, particularly a vanilla. So since it relies on it, you need to run 3. Now next is the Sunseed Shadow. This is the second part of the deck's the second biggest weakness of this deck, is that it does have a lot of restrictions. Sunseed on its own is a really good card and a mandatory must. If you control a normal plant monster, you can special summon this card from your hand. And while it's in the graveyard, if one of your Sunavalon Link monsters is linked to something, you can banish him from your graveyard and special summon another copy of that Link monster. We'll get into a short combo tutorial late in a bit where I'll show you the full point of that. But like I said, the restriction of that Link monster having to be linked, it can really be burdensome because you need to spend a lot of resources in order to link climb. Probably the third most important one is the Sunseed Twins. Its second effect isn't important. Its first effect is that when you normal or special summon it, you can special summon a plant monster from your graveyard to your side of the field to use for link fodder. And then Sunvine Maiden. If one of your plant monsters is going to be targeted by a card effect, you can special summon her to negate the effect. And while she's face up on the field, your plant monsters can't be targeted for card effects. So it's really good against, like Effect Veiler or Infinite Impermanence and stuff like that. But you really want to see her a lot in your hand. So it's really good to have 2. 2 is just fine. Then it's obviously a plant deck, so 3 Lone Fire Blossom. I shouldn't explain why this card is good in plant decks. If you are running plants, you need to run 3, no less.
Unless it's limited like it was for a long time because the plants don't grow.
Exactly. And since it's relying on a normal monster, 3 Rescue Rabbit.
The bunny that eats the plants.
The bunny that eats the plants. How ironic. And then 3 Effect Veiler. I like this card in this deck because it is a level 1. And it can be brought out for 1/1. Plus, in this format with Dragon Link and a lot of combo decks, Effect Veiler is really good because if you open multiples, you can activate multiple times. So yeah, you can replace it with Ash or any other hand trap that you want. Droll and Lockbird works too, but I like Effect Veiler in this deck. Now off to the spells. 3 Sunvine Shrine. In order to activate this card, you have to discard 1 card. That is bullshit, because you have to waste even more resources in order to play it. But its main effect is that once per turn during your main phase, you can special summon a level 4 or lower normal plant monster. So that's really good. As long as it's on the field, you can keep recurring resources each turn. But even still, the the discard effect or cost is still pretty costly. If I'm using really good terminology. And its second effect is that once per turn during your end phase, you can send this face-up card to target a continuous spell or trap card in your graveyard and reset to your side of the field. I've never used that effect because it's never really come up, but it is what it is. And then, obviously, 3 unexpected die for our normal monster, just like Rescue Rabbit. We are reliant on it. 3 were Arf Thou. I'll get into why this card is good in the combo tutorial, but yeah, you run your Sun Seed is level 1, and you need to see it as soon as possible, so this is really good, just as long as you already have a level 1 already out on the field. Then 2 Super Solar Nutrient. I want to bump this up to 3, but I can't find the space for it. Let me know what I should replace it with. But if you have a plant monster on your side of the field, you tribute it to special summon a plant monster with the same level, 1 level up, or 2 levels up from your deck, and equip this card to it. That is broken, and this card is not once per turn. So good for filling up your graveyard with resources, and good for getting out the resources from your deck. Then 1 World Legacy Succession. Again, we want a Link Climb, so we also have the Monster Reborn, the 1-for-1, and the Begone Demon Child. Now off to the traps. 3 Sunvine Bloom. 2. I can't count. This is probably the third Achilles heel for this deck, is that this should have been a continuous skill drain. What this effect is that when you activate this while you control a Link 4 or higher plant monster, all monsters your opponent can currently control loses their effects. While that is a good effect, it's not the best because it needed to be a one-side skill drain. That's what would have made this deck a lot better, because then it would have helped out the control factor a lot more. And its second effect is that when you attack with one of your Sunavalon Link monsters, it gains attack equal to all the monsters that it points to. We'll get into more of that when we go into the combo tutorial. And then a lot of their effects say that your opponent can attack you directly. So 2 Dimension Wall and 1 Draining Mirror Force. You can substitute these out for any other trap that you want, but I thought they were a pretty good gimmick to have in the deck that your opponent probably won't see coming. Now off into the extra deck. 3 Sunavalon Dryas. Can't speak today.
Small tree.
Its effect is that when it is link summoned into the extra monster zone using, where is it? I just had it. Using this card specifically, you can search out your shrine. That right there is probably the biggest downside in this entire deck. Not only do you have to special summon it to the extra monster zone, but you have to use this monster specifically to search out a moderately good spell card. Yeah, that is not that great. And its second effect is which all of the other ones except for their boss monster share, is that it can't be targeted for attacks, but it doesn't prevent your opponent from attacking you directly. And any damage that you the first damage that you take is by effect or by battle. You regain that amount, and you can special summon a Sunvine Link monster from your extra monsters from your extra deck to your side of the field. The next one is Sunvine Drydas. Its only effect is the same as this card's second effect, only you can activate it 2 times.
Normal tree.
Tree has more fruits.
And the third one is the same thing, except it's 3 times.
Bigger tree.
Bigger tree, basically. But the real one that you want to get into is their big boss monster.
The biggest tree.
The biggest tree. It can't be destroyed by card effects, which is really nice. And it can't be targeted for attacks. I wish it had target protection, but that's, I guess asking for a little too much, but I guess that's what the Maiden's for. And when it's special summoned, you can search out any of your Sunvine spells or traps, but you're mainly going to be searching for the trap card, which is what you need to set up your plays with. And then my favorite card in the extra deck is Sunvine Thrasher. When this card is special summoned, not just link summoned, but special summoned, you target a link monster that you control, and it gains 800 attack for every link rating that it has. So you're most likely going to be using it on this one. So that's 3,200 extra attack onto this, making him a 4K beater. And that is not once per turn, by the way. None of his effects are once per turn, actually. So, and his second effect is that when he destroys a monster by battle, you can special summon it to your side of the field to a zone a link monster points to. So
Goyo Guardian.
It's a Goyo Guardian, but the monster that you get effects are negated. And again, it's not once per turn. So if you have the link, the space for it, you can do it multiple times. So he's your main win condition. And then 2 Aeromage Jasmine. It's a plant monster deck, so she's entirely necessary. So let's go ahead and get into a quick combo tutorial. All right, so this is going to be a quick two card combo. So what you're going to do is you're going to activate your unexpected die first.
Ash.
Say Ash, then you cry. To special summon out your Sunseed Genesis Loki. Then you're going to activate Where Art Thou to get your Sunseed Shadow. Activate Sunseed Shadow's effect since you control a normal monster to special summon. You link off into your Dryas. Dryas' effects activate since its summon condition was met to search out the Shrine. You activate Shrine by discarding any of the other cards in your hand that you can spare. And then you link into your second tree. You activate your Sunvine's effect to special. And then now that your monster is linked, you can activate Sunseed Shadow's effect to banish, targeting your link monster. Special. Link off. Actually, back up first. You link off into another one. Then you link over here to special. Use his effect to search out your skill drain. And then you set your skill drain. And then you have at least 2 cards left in your hand that you can use. And during your end phase, from the effect of Where Art Thou, since you did not normal summon the level 1 that you searched out, you take 2k damage. But the good thing about Dryas is that you gain that amount back, and you special summon your Sunvine Thresher. And then since he was special summoned, you target out your big boss monster, and he becomes 4k. So you have a 4k beater, you have destruction protection, and you have a skill drain face down to interrupt in any of their plays. And if you're able to survive next turn, this card's second effect will activate if you attack with your boss monster, so that way he will gain 4,000 attack. Or what you can do is attack with him first, steal a monster to go into this card zone, which you can still attack with too, and then attack with this to have the 4k damage plus whatever monster's attack is below it to go for the win. So yeah, like I said, I mean, it's a good strategy, but it's like Heroes. It's a glass cannon. Good strategy, but it can be very vulnerable. The only thing is that Heroes are still a lot better than this. So, with that being said, let me know what you guys think of the deck in the comment section below. Let me know if you have any tips on how to make this deck better, because I really like the concept of this deck. It just needs a lot of help and a lot of love. But yeah, please like, comment, subscribe. Check out our Patreon and to help support the channel. Like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell for notifications, and we'll catch you guys later.